Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Franchise Tag. I'm Gareth Smith, and today I'm joined by another very special guest, New York Giants former star Gary Reasons. How are we doing?
Hey, Garrett, I'm doing great, man. It's a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, obviously, for talking to me today. Do truly appreciate it. And obviously, you've had a hell of a career when we look at obviously your playing days. There's not many players out there who can say they've been to two Super Bowls and won two Super Bowls. So let's talk through that a little bit, if that's okay with yourself. So obviously, that Giants team, those two Giants teams you played for under defensive coordinator Bill Belichick. Do you want to talk us through those two teams? What made them so special?
Well, really, it starts at the head coaching level, and that's Bill Parcells.
Yeah,
So Bill
what a
Parcells
guy.
obviously, built our team, and I got to the Giants in 1984. We had a tremendous draft class in 1984, and so we got to the playoffs in my rookie year. Myself, Carl Banks, William Roberts joined the team. Jeff Hostetler, Lionel Manuel. That group was special, and it really kind of put the Giants in a position to succeed. And so year over year, 84, 85, and ultimately in 86, 86 was our year. We went 14-2 that year. We were just one heck of a football team,
Mm.
tough, physical, tough football. That's how Bill Parcells liked to describe us, and also it just got us to where we wanted to be, and that's in Super Bowl 21.
Obviously, the team that defense had a fantastic nickname as well with the Big Blue Wrecking Crew. What a nickname that is, by by the way. Obviously, you were working under Bill Belichick in that defense as well. Did you know he was going to go on to be the coach he was and have the career he did while you worked with him?
Well, we could see that Bill was very prepared all the time, and that's really what was the key to his success: being prepared. And he prepared us. And being prepared is really what gives players and teams the ability to succeed on the field. And because we really were, we took our practice reps at heart, and we know that we needed to be highly prepared because the other teams are looking to defeat us. And once we knew that we were confident in what we were doing, then the physicality and then the abilities that our players had really shined through. And we had a very talented football club. Obviously, I lined up next to the greatest defensive player of all time in Lawrence Taylor, and another one as well, Harry Carson, both of them NFL Hall of Famers, great to play with. So we had a special defense, and it was a special storied time for the New York Giants, bringing them to prominence, and we got that in Super Bowl 21. And this upcoming season, just real quickly about that, this upcoming season is going to be the 40th anniversary of our Super Bowl 21 victory, which
Wow.
we are all excited about. I'm sure there's going to be some good celebrations along the way this coming season.
And obviously, to be fair, obviously it's the anniversary of that, but it's also quite an exciting time, I think, to be a Giants fan right now. Like when
Yeah.
you look, obviously, the head coach recruitment in such a good name as John Harbaugh, that young running back and quarterback combo, and I actually really like the defensive pieces they've got there, and Abdul Carter and players like that. How excited do you think they should be for New York Giants fans going into this season?
Well, I think that the Giants fans are really going to be pleased with the structure and the believability that John Harbaugh brings. He's going to be a coach that's the first day he stands in front of the room, he reeks of credibility, and that's what I think has been lacking since the Tom Coughlin days, the Bill Parcells
Mm.
days. A coach that stands in front of the room that is truly has the credibility to lead a team, and I think that John has that. Now, talking about players with the Giants so far, they have some talented players. You talked about Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterby; those two young rookies this year were sensational. And let's see see how well they can develop over time. Abdul Carter, bringing him on the defensive side was a really great add. He's got to get he's got to get the team first part of it, and I think he'll get that. So they have the pieces, I think, that can make them successful. Hopefully, this offseason they'll grab some more players that make them even more potent. And I think it's a real bright future for the Giants, and I don't think it's going to take very long.
No, and I think in this day and age, there's a lot of teams who seem to can go from worst to first. Obviously, New England Patriots is a classic case of that this season.
Yeah.
And obviously, the NFC East, when there's some teams that you thought were going to be better in regards to, for example, the Dallas Cowboys, I think a lot of people expected more from them this year. And also the Commanders. And obviously as well, the Eagles obviously haven't looked spectacular this year. So it could be an interesting time for those Giants fans, which it has been a long time coming for those fans there in New York. They've had to obviously be very patient. And for a team that is used to titles, obviously you're part of a team that won two. And we mentioned your former head coach, your former coach in Bill Belichick. His nemesis, ironically, was the Giants during this
Yeah.
period. That wasn't lost, the irony of that one. But so it's been a long time coming for those Giants fans. But what are those fans like to play for out there in New York? How would you
We had a
describe the
saying.
fans?
Yeah, we had a saying back in the day that the Giants fans were blue collar fans because literally they really were. They were all the guys that were doing all the tough work around the community and coming from New Jersey, New York. Just a tough environment back in those days, and we resonated really well, I think, with the fan base. It was a pleasure always to anytime that the fans were engaging me. I really was very happy to sign autographs and visit with them and talk to them because we represent them and
Mm.
they are a part of us as much as anything. And when you have that going for you with the fan base excited and the fan base behind you, you're a little more energized and you want to play better. You want to do better for your community. We felt that, and I think that helped us along our path. It wasn't the main thing, but I think that we were in sync with the community, and I think it paid dividends for us.
And obviously, you never want to boil someone's career down to individual moments because obviously your careers are made up of lots and lots of moments. But there's one moment I think particularly that a lot of people will know you for. A certain game in Mile High, up there in Mile High, in the snow of Denver, 4th and goal, the hit. That moment, how did that obviously that play? Obviously, it was brilliant. How did that feel being able to make that goal line stop in that moment? Because obviously it was a hell of a play.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's been seen millions and millions and millions of times on
Mm.
YouTube. It's one of the top NFL plays of all time, and I'm very proud of what it was. But for us as a team, and the genesis behind the play itself was that we needed to stop the Broncos from getting into the end zone. We needed to get that stop because we needed that game to win to get into the playoffs at the end of the season. I think this was week 13 when we played them in 1989, and we needed to finish out strong, and we wound up winning the game and also getting into the playoffs. So with the goal line stand, that's what was my first motivation, was helping our team win and keeping them out of the end zone. And when you know that you made a 4th and goal stand, and I had the pretty much of a huge play of the moment, I felt it, and I tell you, it's something that I relive almost daily because fans remind me of it. I get digital communications, all types of things on Twitter, Facebook, you name it, everywhere on social media, and all the video on YouTube. It's crazy. There's millions and millions and millions of views of that particular play. I think it's a great legacy, and it kind of adds to part of the career that I had, and I'm very pleased to be able to do that.
And obviously, you talked about your legacy there a little bit in the game, and obviously, you've got a great legacy. Obviously, when you look at obviously your shirt number being retired at Northwestern, the fact obviously you had Gary Reason Day. How did that come about?
Well, there's a couple of Gary Reasons days. One at Northwestern State, and I had my jersey retired really just immediately after my playing days there. I was the first ever 3-time All-American at the Division I FCS level, and they retired my jersey immediately after my senior season. That was special. Being inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame as from a player from a small school. Very, very rare, and that happened to me in 1996 following my NFL career. It really is kind of bestowed upon me, some really great accolades, and a lot, some of the takeaways from those. It's special. It's really great to be able to be remembered in a light, the legacy of that. And I've also gone on to a tremendous alliance with the sport still, because for the past 30 plus years, I've been a college football TV game analyst for major networks, and it's just been a pleasure for me to be a part of the game and still have a voice in the game and portraying that to the fans.
And obviously, you mentioned obviously the college game, and obviously the college game is something that's growing fan base over here in the UK. And there's obviously a lot more players internationally now entering the college system. How pleased are you seeing to see the growth of the game internationally and its current guys?
It was strange before. Actually, I actually way back in in the '90s, I was actually part of the broadcast crew for NFL Europe. Where
Mhm.
games were playing over there when we had a few games in the UK, and I broadcast them here from remotely. Actually, I wasn't at the game. I was doing it from a monitor in New Jersey, which is which was strange. But to see where the NFL is today as a global brand, as
Mhm.
as a sport that is now being played almost all across the globe. And uniquely, we're going to have some things from the American football game that are now going to be inside of the Olympics here
Mhm.
forward. With flag football being moved into the Summer Olympics as early as a couple of seasons and a couple of years from now. I think that's powerful, and it's become a global sport. So I don't see. I do see that we will have an even further rollout of the NFL, across the globe, and I could certainly see a team or two in the UK, and you never know where else in Europe, because we've had those games on display there, and they're very well attended. And I think the fans there still love the NFL game, and I think there's room for it. And as much as there is the global soccer world, you're seeing that, and it's here in the U.S.
Mhm.
and there's room for it. But I think that there's room for more growth of the NFL, across the world.
And obviously, being a fan over here in the UK, just getting those 3 games, yeah, I think we've still got the record for the biggest attended Jacksonville Jaguars game of all time, I think, as well, because obviously Wembley versus their stadium, slight difference in size. Wembley is bigger, so it's a bit unfair to class to match those two, but we have the highest attendance. And obviously, the Giants have been over here. They are very popular in the UK. I don't know how much you know, obviously, of the fan base over here in the UK and how passionate they are about their New York Football Giants. But would you have wanted to play internationally if you were playing today? Would you be wanting to play over here or in like Australia, Mexico, or wherever?
Yeah, here's the thing: players are routine. We're very routine in what we do during the season, and during gameplay days from your typical Sunday football game. Playing it in the morning, afternoon, or the evening is one thing, but when you move it to a Monday or a Thursday, and in the case of a Sunday of play internationally, where you're traveling significantly, it takes a
Mhm.
little bit of getting used to. But I think that the league has figured out that if they give the team time before or after that game, a few extra days, both teams actually, to come back and play and prepare. The jet lag kind of goes away, and it's not a
Mhm.
significant thing, because, like I'm telling you about, players are creatures of habit, and recovery from games, it takes the full week, and so you don't want to have a short week, and you actually want to have more time to recover from those games. That's the thing that holds players back, is recovery and short turnaround games,
Mhm.
because you just can't do it from Sunday to Thursday and then back to Sunday. It just doesn't work that way, because of the recovery, because what you expend in energy and physicality, it takes a toll on you. And
Mhm.
but in under normal circumstances, week to week, Sunday to Sunday, most players are able to fully recover. But when you have those challenging times, so that's the only issue that I see
Mhm.
from an international perspective, when you combine travel and time between games.
Yeah, and obviously we have some teams who I think are a lot more used to it than others. I'd say Jacksonville, it's their habit now. They are used to what it takes. They come here early, they settle in early. The players get fully used to it, and obviously, I think there's players who it's become part of their habit. As you say, they're used to. They're going to have that almost mid-season trip to the UK for a few days. Whereas there's some teams where it's not as often. I can understand where that must be
Yeah.
so much harder. Obviously, talk to us what you're up to these days, Joe, because obviously we know about your excellent playing career. Obviously, we know about your time in the booth, commentating on college games. What are you up to now?
Well, I'm really enjoying what I've done and being able to be a part of the sport for such a long time. I've actually had a good business career as well along the way.
Hmm.
But really, what I'm enjoying doing now is that I have taken on another platform. I recently wrote a book, and it's going to be coming out this spring, and it's called "Reasons to Believe: An Inspirational
Nice.
Path to Winning." And inside of the book are a lot of my takeaways from sports and broadcasting and business, so that I break it down in by chapter by chapter by chapter. What are certain things like leadership, trust, accountability, all these different things. And I tell stories within that book that people can relate to. And I blend those in there. And it's more of a reference tool. It's really a cool book. And with this book, it's given me a platform basically to go out into the marketplace and become a keynote and event speaker and a leadership
Mm.
consultant as well. And so that's what I'm doing today. And it's all under the Reasons to Believe platform. So check me out at GaryReasons.com, and you'll be able to see everything that I'm doing. And you'll be able to contact me as well. But that's what I'm doing. And I enjoy it. I enjoy sharing knowledge and sharing about my experiences, as well as talking about championship moments, leadership moments, and try to build accountability and create a lot of culture for teams, organizations, and just sharing some of my experiences in a very meaningful way.
And bearing in mind, obviously, you mentioned big moments and stuff. As you mentioned, if you've got a moment that is still being viewed today in the sport which you play, I think that's safe to say you know what you're on about in that space. So if they want to buy the book as well when it comes out, where will it be available to purchase?
Yeah, I'm certain it'll be available via my website, GaryReasons.com, and also probably get it on AWS, Amazon. We'll probably go there as well. I'm just looking for publishing assistance on it, which is what we're determining now. But the book is fully written. It's good. It's ready to
Mhm.
go. And we're kind of timing it a little bit coming out here before the upcoming NFL draft, and
Yeah.
also the 40th season of the New York Giants Super Bowl 21 victory. So I'm rolling it out here in a pretty good time to get that done, and doing some Chamber of Commerce events in New York and New Jersey this coming summer and spring, summer, and even into the fall. That's what's going to keep me busy, as well as other speaking engagements and company events.
Make sure you check out the website and get over there and obviously support Gary, because obviously he's been an absolute brilliant player in the game, and obviously what he knows about how to have a championship mindset. As I say, there's not many people out there who can say they've got the 2 Super Bowls, and obviously Gary and that team did. So thank you very much for that today. Thank you very much for your time. Truly appreciate it. And obviously, thank you very much for coming on to talk to us today.
Good to visit with you, Gareth. Take care.
You too. And obviously, thank you very much for watching at home. We'll be back again soon with another special guest.